for coming to the session today. I'm going to go through how you log into the system, the rules that you need to follow when you're going through the transcription. There's specific rules that need to be followed for this client, so I'll go through them in a bit of detail. If you have any questions along the way, just let me know, okay? I will share my screen now. A second. Okay, so when you log into the system, you're going to see a blank screen like this. So what we need for you before you start the transcription is your IP address. In order to get your IP address, just go to any browser and click in whatismyip.com. And the IP address that we need, sorry, can everybody see my screen? What's being shown at the moment?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So the IP address that we need is this IPv4 address. So if you click copy here and send that to me or Andreas, we will set you up in the system. The reason that you need to do the transcription on this server is because there is confidential material in the files, so we can't download any files from the system. Once you give us your IP address, we will send you a login and a password. You log into our system, and this is what you're going to see when you log in, okay?
Okay.
And the tool that you're going to use to transcribe files is called Transcriber. And here it is. Okay, so each of you is going to be assigned a unique ID. So it's going to be Transcriber 1, Transcriber 2, Transcriber 3, and so on. So you will see in the folder here, transcribers. I'm going to go to Transcriber 1. And within this folder, you'll see a working folder. If it's okay just to turn off microphones while, unless you have a question, that would be great. Just so there's no background noise at the moment. Thanks a million. Okay, so there's a working folder where you're going to carry out all the files. This is where you will carry out the transcription. Skipped folder, if there's some of the files, they're not good quality. So if you can't make any sense of the file, you can put it into skipped. If you find that there's a lot of material in there that's just not worth transcribing, it's not clear enough, or it's just really bad quality, then it's going to go into the folder. And then for review is where our QA team take your files and review them. You're going to copy them in here for our team's review. And once you finish review, our team will put them into QA. So the main folder for you guys is working. And when you go in here, you can see a number of WAV files. And these are the audio files that you're going to transcribe. Now, they're pretty much call center conversations. So it's conversations between a customer ringing into an agent, and then a discussion that a customer and an agent might have. Some of them are very short. For this particular project, I think it may be a bit longer than we've had recently, but I will open up one here just to check how long it is. So you can see at the bottom of the file, this particular one is, oh, hang on a second, sorry, I have a new laptop, so I can't see everything properly here. Yeah, so this one is 30 seconds long. You can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a timeline at the bottom, okay? So when you first log in, it's going to say no speaker at the top. When you listen, I don't speak any Arabic, so if I listen to this, it's not going to make any sense. But if I play a little bit through. Okay, you guys can't hear that because the speaker isn't playing through on Teams, but I can hear that it's a conversation between a customer ringing in and an agent. So she says, hello, my name is, and he says, hello, how can I help you? So we know that the opening speaker is a customer. So if we click here, we can change and create speaker to call it a customer, because that's the first person that is speaking on the call. Now I'm going to type in English. You're going to type in Arabic, but because I don't speak any Arabic, for the purpose of training, I'm going to use English here. But just so that you know, you don't need to translate anything. You are literally going to type everything that you hear in Arabic. Now, there may be some English in there. I'll show you how to deal with that in a few minutes, but you will be transcribing exactly everything that you hear. So I'm just writing English because I don't speak Arabic, okay? So I'm going to type away here. Okay, so the first rule when we're transcribing in these files is that we don't use any punctuation. So as you can see here, I haven't used any comma. I haven't used a capital letter at the start of the sentence. I don't use any full stop. I don't use any question marks. No punctuation in these files at all, okay? The only time that we will use a capital letter is for people names or place names or business names. But apart from that, we just don't use any capital letters. Now, this won't likely apply to Arabic because I don't think you use uppercase or lowercase in Arabic. Is that the case? Or is that the, do you
No, we
use
don't
uppercase?
use.
Okay, so this is just something for English, you would use capital letters generally, but you don't for these files. So with regards to Arabic, then you can see that we won't use any punctuation in the files. So you just write everything that you hear without any punctuation. Okay. So that's the first rule. Then the second rule is, yeah, so in some, let me see. So you can see then how I tag the speaker as a customer. So then say, for example, the agent is going to reply here and the customer has finished speaking at this stage. Then if I click enter, this creates a breakpoint in the audio. So now I need to create my next speaker. So I go to create turn, create new speaker, and I want to call this one the agent because the agent is responding to the customer. So how can I help you today? Now, again, you can see I didn't use any punctuation and I don't end the line with a question mark either, okay? So here we can see customer and agent. Now, it's really important in these files that the breakpoint is put in exactly the correct location. So if I click at the bottom here and I listen back on the file, I should only hear what is written up here. There is a big problem in these files with breakpoints because sometimes the transcriber may put the breakpoint here. So it's including what's on the second line, but the breakpoint must be in the exact location where the audio ends. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, no problem. Sorry, I asked you to turn off your microphones. So I'll just assume it's clear, and if anything is unclear, just pipe in at any time. Okay. So
Sure.
if I put the breakpoint in the wrong location and I want to delete it, I can click Control backspace, and that will get rid of that breakpoint. But if I want to reinsert, then I put it back to create turn, and I have my agent here again. Now, when I'm listening back on my files and I realize I put the breakpoint in the wrong place, if I want to move it, I click Control, click on the breakpoint and move it exactly to where I want it to be in the audio file, okay? It's really important to get these breakpoints at the exact location. Now, the reason that we put in breakpoints is there's a couple of reasons. So if we have a new speaker, we need to put in a breakpoint to divide the audio between the customer and the agent. That's how normal conversation will be. We have the first line with the customer, next line with the agent, and so on. They're going to speak to each other. Another reason we might put it in is if the segment, okay, there's an important rule here. These are all listed in the PDF that I'm going to send to you. But an important rule is that every segment, and a segment is a section like this, every segment must be less than 10 seconds long. So say in the next section, the agent is speaking for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 seconds. And my breakpoint is here. Sorry. My breakpoint is here. I need to divide up the agent's speech so that it's less than 20 or less than 10 seconds. So a way that you can check how long a segment is, if you click on the segment at the bottom of the screen, you can see here, this is the duration of the segment. So it says here, I hope you can all see this on the screen, it says 14.485 seconds, which is longer than 10 seconds. So I need to divide this into 2 segments. So let's say the agent says, hello, Joanne, and this finishes here. Then I can click here and create 2 segments. So now the first segment is 4.65 seconds, and the second segment is 9.8 seconds. So it just means every single segment must be less than 10 seconds. That's a really important rule in these files. A segment cannot exceed 10 seconds. So it may be the same speaker talking, you just need to divide their speech up into segments to make sure each one is less than 10 seconds, okay? Another reason that we may need to put a breakpoint in is, say for example, this part of the audio doesn't make, this part of the audio doesn't make any sense and it's just fuzzy noise, or I can't make out what the speaker has said at all. Then we use a tag for unintelligible text, where there's no way that I could make out what is said here. I've listened to it maybe 3 times, I still don't know what they've said. So in that case, we have a special tag where we open a square bracket, put in a dot, and it closes a square bracket like this. Now, if you come across text like that, it needs to be segmented correctly, and it also needs to be put on a line on its own, okay? That's really important. We can't put, if this section here, I can't make it out, I can't just put it on the end of a piece of text like this. That's incorrect. It always must be on a line on its own. So please ensure that it's always in a line on its own, okay? That's another reason that we might need to put in a breakpoint. Third reason that you may need to put in a breakpoint is a lot of these files are a mixture of English and Arabic text. So I think it's natural in Arabic text to use some English words. So if you come across a section of English text, if for example, this section here is all English text, then I put my breakpoint in at the end of the English text, and where the English text occurs, I open a square bracket, put English, and then whatever the English text is. And then close square bracket. Then at the end of the English text, then I continue with my Arabic transcription here. Okay, so that's if you come across some English text. If you come across text that isn't transcribable, then you need to put them on a line on their own and tag them like this. Again, this is listed in the PDF that I'm going to send to you, but just I want to show it to you here on the screen so that it's so that you have a clearer picture of exactly what's needed. Another reason that we may need to put it on a separate line like this is if you come across a laugh or a cough or a sneeze in the text, they need to be tagged on a line on their own. So you would put, say if this section of the text is where the customer or the agent is laughing, I'd put a breakpoint at the end of the laugh and then tag it as a laugh, or if it's cough or if it's a sneeze. Now the allowable tags for these are listed in the PDF, and you must always put the tag as English text like this. It doesn't need to be translated, it doesn't need to be Arabic. So you would put laugh, cough, sneeze, whatever the allowable tag is in the PDF. There's a number of them that are allowed, so you'll see those in the PDF. What else is there? If 2 speakers are talking at the same time and they're speaking over each other, you would transcribe the speaker that you hear more clearly. So the agent is kind of more prevalent than the customer, then you would transcribe what the agent is speaking as best you can. If you can't hear it, if the 2 of them are speaking over each other and it's just really unclear, then you use the dot tag as we have here, okay? Another thing that's really important is you would not transcribe any numerals. So we would never write, that would be incorrect. In this case, it depends on how the user says it. If the user is listing out a credit card number or something, and they say 13456, then we would literally write 13456 like this. So you never type numbers into the TRS files like this. It always has to be the words, exactly what the user is speaking. Because the user could also say, for this example, the user could also be saying 13,346. So you can see where the confusion would be if we type numbers in the files. So we always must write exactly what the user has said. Just excuse me for 1 second. I just need to close the door. Okay, so that's another really important rule to note when you're transcribing files. Another thing, you might come across some URLs in the files, and let me see, where are we? If I type so you might come across some URLs like www.google.com. Now you wouldn't transcribe it as www.google.com like this. Instead, we would write www.google. I'm sorry. Why is my backspace not working? Sorry. .com like this. So the main thing is you literally type everything that you hear. That's really important, okay? Again, in natural speech, a lot of people use or kind of hesitation words. So like I'm speaking now, you can hear a lot of or . So if I'm writing like this, you need to type in the hesitation words exactly as the user speaks them, okay? That's really important too. So it's literally type everything that you hear, if it's English or if it's Arabic. If it's English, you tag it as we put it here. If it's Arabic, you write exactly as it's spoken for everything. And that also goes for any profanities. If there, I don't know any Arabic profanity words, but if there are any, type them exactly as you hear them. Sometimes the customers can get angry, the agent can get angry. Don't be afraid to type everything that you hear. We won't be offended. Okay, so I think that's pretty much most of the rules. I'm just going to check here in the PDF. I want to get this out of the way. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so the allowable tags are agent and agent and customer. They're pretty much the only ones that you're going to need. There may be a second customer that joins in sometimes, but they, again, in that case you would put customer #2. These are all listed in the PDF that I'm going to send to you. Some of this won't apply to you. It's a lot about English language where there's different words like y'all or how they're listed in the PDF. You can have a look at those as well. But if there are any similar words in Arabic, then you can transcribe them exactly how they're spoken in Arabic. And 1 second. So acronyms. So yeah, if you come across any acronyms, you also need to, I don't think they need to be put in a separate line. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, they don't need to be put in a separate line. So if you come across an acronym in the file, so an acronym would be, if I'm going to pick an example of IBM, because it's known pretty much worldwide. So you would tag it with an opening tag, ABB : and put the acronym in here and then a closing bracket. Now, in this case, it doesn't need to be sectioned on its own line. It can be within the text. So it's different to the laugh or the English text or the unintelligible text. For an abbreviation, you can have it within the text. Okay. And I think that's pretty much all the rules that we have for the transcription. Yeah, it is. So the main things are no punctuation, writing numbers exactly as you hear them, writing everything pretty much exactly as you hear it, and with hesitation words, with profanities, with companies, with web addresses, numbers, everything exactly as you hear it. Making sure your breakpoints are in the exact location that they should be. That's essential. It's really important. So if you're unsure, you know, when you've transcribed and you want to just have a quick listen back to make sure everything is segmented correctly, you click on the bottom blue section, check when you listen back to this section here. So to listen back, you just click tab and that will play this particular section. Make sure it matches exactly what is highlighted above. That's really, really important. And if it's not matching exactly what's written above, then you control click the section break at the bottom of the screen. Okay, that's really important. And also to make sure that each section is less than 10 seconds long. And the way to check that is to click on the section at the bottom of the screen, check your number here, make sure it's less than 10 seconds. If not, segment that. Make sure that each section is less than 10 seconds. Okay, really important. When you're finished a file, you're going to go, this is also really important. The files automatically get saved to program files, but if they go there, they're going to get lost and you're going to lose work. So it's really important to go File, Save As, click to your transcriber file. This is where it gets saved by default, and your work will be lost if you save it to the default folder. So click on C, transcribers, whichever transcriber you are, we're in number 1. If you're happy if you're finished that file and you want to send it for review, you put it into the for review folder and just save it there. It's going to get saved as a TRS format. That's the transcribed file. So you can see here that that particular file is saved under C, transcribers, transcriber 1 for review. Then our QA team know that they can go and pick the file from there. If you want to first save it, if you want to first save it under working until you're happy that you have a batch of files ready for review, that would be better. So actually, yeah, save it under working. And then when you know that, say you have this batch of files, you cut the audio file and the TRS. Sorry, I'll save the file again just so we to show you exactly how to save it. Sorry. So you go File, Save As. Again, not to. Oh yeah, well I put it under for review. So we go to transcriber 1, save it under working, and then our TRS file is going to go to that folder. And you can see it under here. And then if I have a batch of files here that I've completed and I want to send them for review for the Simultrans team to go through them and make sure everything's okay before sending to the client, I'll cut them and paste them in under here. And it's, why is that not pasting? Anyway, you're going to cut your audio file and your TRS file into your for review folder. Yes, sorry, I have a new laptop and I'm just getting used to it. Okay, so we can see then that the audio file and the TRS file is in the for review folder where our quality team can pick it up then to review before sending to the client. Okay, how does that sound? I think that's pretty much all of the rules that are in the PDF, but I will send this to you to have a look at and you can let me know if there is any questions after going through a few of the files. But does that sound okay, or does anybody have any questions?
No questions for me.
Okay, no problem.
Me also.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine as well.
Okay, that's good to know. Now I know there are going to be a lot of questions when you go through when you start to go through the files. And at the start, it will seem like it's quite a slow process, but it's just a matter of getting used to the rules. The rules are really important, but after a while, they become, you know, just something that you do automatically. But at the start, it does take a bit of getting used to, making sure your 10 seconds, like every segment is less than 10 seconds, making sure you don't use any punctuation, making sure that you tag everything correctly. That takes a bit of time to get used to at the start. It's just a learning curve. After a while, it does become a lot quicker, and you will find that you're able to transcribe quicker. You're able to use the rules even without thinking too much. So it does, I promise, get quicker after a while. But I hope that everything is clear from the call today. But I'm sure you will have questions once you get started. So feel free to ask questions at any time. It's not a problem. Myself or Andreas will be here to help you out, and don't be stuck on anything. So once you have transcribed a batch of a number of files, maybe 5 files, just let myself or Andreas know, and we will go through the files to make sure that we're all working from the correct rules. So yeah, I'll share an email with you with more instructions how to log in. Once we have your IP address, we'll add you to the system, and then we'll share an email how to log in, and also the PDF with all the instructions, which you can go through in more detail. I can share this recorded session with you as well, in case you want to go back and check on anything. And I think then you should be good to go. And you may have questions after that. But I hope this is helpful today. Oh, sorry, I have a question here from Ad. Sorry, that came up and then it disappeared. Let me check. Should we transcribe in standard Arabic or Arabic dialect? I did get more information on that today. Just give me 1 second. So the information is, where is it? So let me see. The client has said this is a mix of English and Arabic on the calls. The general rules should apply. So primary language is to be considered Arabic Bahrani, but written using standard international Arabic script. And then there's a bit more information about the Arabic characters. I will share that information with you as well, don't worry. But I hope that answers your question, Ad. I know your microphone isn't working, Ad, but yeah, I will share the information that the client sent about the Arabic. Okay, good. Thank you, Ad. Thanks for confirming. And does anybody else have questions? If not, I will conclude the training session today and share all the information with you after the call. So if that's okay, then we will finish up for today. And thank you all for your time on the call. And sorry, Moetas, for leaving you waiting at the start. But
No, it's okay. Thank you, Joanne, so much.
Okay, good to see you all today, and thanks for joining. And let me know if you have any questions after the session. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.